Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nishan Kashyap, consulting editor at ET Manufacturing, and I'm going to discuss something very important today. Aluminium. Aluminium as a material, we have seen that it's because of its strength, like lightweight, high strength, and corrosion resistant. And aluminium is increasingly becoming the perfect choice across the industries like automotive, aerospace, and infrastructure industry. In EV, it's just transforming the way cars are or the vehicles are manufactured. In aerospace industry, as we know that this industry demands lightweight and high strength, aluminum has found its way. And since last few years, we have seen that how aluminum and its die casting processes has been growing up. And to discuss more on this, we have with us Mr. Bharat Gite, who is the founder and managing director of Taural India, which is a leading turnkey aluminum solution provider. He brings deep insights into innovation, supply chain challenges, and future of aluminum manufacturing industry in India. Let's get started. Mr. Bharat, welcome. Welcome to ET Manufacturing.
Yes, thank you, Kashyap. Thank you.
So, Mr. Bharat, as I said in my opening speech also, aluminium, as we know, is gaining prominence across industries due to its lightweight and high strength properties. How do you see the demand for aluminium evolving in India? And could you also talk about the challenges of manufacturing this product in India?
Kashyap, thanks for having me and having discussing very important topic for our country, which is aluminium. If you ask me how it is evolving and how the consumption is increasing, I would say it's average. It's not very high or it's not very low. The awareness is getting slowly into the industry and people are talking about aluminium. But if you ask me, most of the time, aluminium consumption is increasing because of the multinational company coming to India and demanding for the aluminium product. Most of the other countries, how they started like 2, 3 decades back, they have drafted a policy where they said that aluminium is green metal. Aluminium is a strategic metal. It's a defense metal. It's a future metal. And on that basis, they have given the challenge to the industry government to increase the aluminium consumption. On that front, we have not taken a significant steps from the government side to increase the aluminium consumption in India. That's the reason we are at 3 kg per capita, whereas countries like Germany is at 26, China is at 36 kg per capita. On the positive note, I am discussing with government of Maharashtra whether we can draft a policy for the only for the government, the federal state of Maharashtra, and this is where the start will happen.
And when you say that you are discussing with Maharashtra, I also have heard that you signed some agreement with government of Maharashtra in the recently concluded Davos event. Could you please highlight a little bit more on that and what kind of things you are actually advising government to?
So basically, World Economic Forum, as you know, that Maharashtra has pulled 16 lakh crores of investment MOU signed in Davos within that 2, 3 days. We were one of them where we have promised as Taural India, our company, we will invest 500 crore as an investment and 1200 as an employment in Supa, Ahilyanagar, which is like Ahilyanagar district and 100 kilometer to the east from Pune. It's a greenfield project and it's a expansion of our current facility in Jharkhand.
And what kind of advancement have you seen in aluminum alloys and processing technologies that is precisely driving the innovation in high performance applications? So aluminum is there since long time, right? So what kind of alloys or what kind of changes it has seen that is being getting accepted in various industries now?
So there are, as you correctly said, why we should choose aluminum over steel. Because aluminum is no doubt it is a softer metal than steel. But as I earlier said, it's a green metal. It's a metal for future. That's why we should increase its consumption. As you correctly said in the introduction itself, it is lightweight and it is a high strength material. Alloying new development of the alloy will surely stand us as a aluminum in front of steel. And secondly, the processing, which kind of processes we use. Ultimately, first is raw material and then the processing, which will make the final product, which will compete in front of the steel products. So a lot of research are happening in the defense area, aerospace, DRDO, CVRD, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, even the National Institute, Engineering Institute like IIT Kharagpur, to bring the new alloying elements in the aluminum, which will strengthen the metal or the final product. Internationally, the university I studied, RWTH Aachen University, as well as Max Planck Institute, Fraunhofer, we can see a lot of material innovation is happening here, and they are bringing the new alloying element into the aluminum. On the front of processing, of course, there are new processes are being developed each and every time, like high pressure die casting. In low pressure die casting, we have a tilting processes where the solidification will start happen faster. Faster solidification, higher strength rate you get. So apart from that, in my own field, because I come from a sand casting process, I have seen European companies, research institutes, they are coming up with the vacuum sand casting. So right now, as a sand caster, we use phenolic resin to bind the sand grains together and form the mold. They are using no chemicals, so it will be more greener process. It will be good for the environment, and vacuum will bind the grain elements and make the mold. So a lot of good things are happening around the world.
In your first answer, you mentioned that the aluminum consumption in India is still average, and
Yeah.
you want government to push the usage of aluminum. Why do you think it's still average? Is it because the manufacturing activity as a whole in India was not to that level since last few years and it has just started? What could be the reason?
Partially, yes, because if you see the aluminum die caster, aluminum manufacturing process, the revolution started like 2, 3 decades back. A lot of automotive companies have demand and they were procuring it from China or Europe. So they wanted a local ecosystem. And that's how they have developed the traditionally casting company into the new vertical of die casting. They have collaborated with the foreign uh, suppliers of the OEM. And this is how the technology has come to India in last 2 to 3 decades. We are strengthening our aluminum technology in our country.
And how do you see the overall mood in the Indian manufacturing ecosystem? Because since last few years, specifically as a journalist from the manufacturing industry and someone who specifically covers the machine tool and die industry, die casting, aerospace, defense, I see that everyone's extremely optimistic. FDIs are growing. A lot of foreign companies are setting up base in India. Machine tool companies who are earlier just selling in India, now they are starting to manufacture in India. So that kind of thing is there. So according to you, what's the overall state of Indian manufacturing industry at this moment and how it's going to drive the demand for the aluminum related products in coming days?
I would say the total manufacturing industry, we have a very optimistic environment today because of the Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, PLI scheme, PSI schemes were already there before the Modi government also. If you ask me, manufacturing contribution of India's share globally is very low compared to China.
Right.
2.8 somewhere percentage in front of 28% of China. We need to have the positive environment to increase the manufacturing sector. Of course, the optimistic environment and the way conditions are there, but still there is a good scope of improvement. There should be a FDI is coming, but in between they are also getting different kind of problems like single window clearance, license raj should decrease. The quality of electricity and the rates, these are the things also need to improve. Infrastructure, if you ask me, there should be four-lane highways coming to the industrial area like Chakan. We need to reform the labor laws. Today, the Mathadi and unions are troubling in the states like Maharashtra. So, PSI scheme, packaging scheme of incentive, it is good. It is actually categorized on the which kind of rural or urban area you are situated, A, B, C, D, D plus. But we need some changes in that because establishing industry itself takes 2 to 3 years, and your the whole scheme incentive tenure is only 8 years. So all these things need to be improved. Uh, at the same time, because of Make in India, we have a very positive environment. Every industry has to have some local content to sell it to the government as well as the private sector, which is
Yes, yes.
surely increasing our manufacturing margin or percentage globally.
Right, right. So you mentioned about Make in India, PLI scheme and Atmanirbhar Bharat and all those things. And now we just saw in the recently concluded budget, government came up with a new campaign called National Manufacturing Mission, which is like a
Mhm.
upgraded version of Make in India or extended version of Make in India itself. And they have also eased out a lot of issues that was there and also have given some relief to the MSMEs that
Yeah.
forms basically the backbone of the industry. So how do you see this kind of campaigns, like especially PLI scheme and Atmanirbhar Bharat, this kind of campaigns and initiatives will have impact on overall manufacturing industry and subsequently to the aluminum components manufacturers and material suppliers?
Surely it will have because it has a Atmanirbhar Bharat, as I talked, automatically giving us the scope to manufacture locally
Right.
and stop the China import or the European import. New national manufacturing mission will
Mhm.
also enhance the same things like earlier it was Make in India, then it was Atmanirbhar Bharat, and now they have come up with the national manufacturing mission. Um, it is just creating a field, a positive environment, which will surely bring the always the optimistic sentiment to the market that yes, the government is promoting the local manufacturing and let's invest into the this sector because India is highly flooded with the service industry, IT industry, you know that, and manufacturing is totally different ball game. It has a high capex. It has I mean, the longest establishment. The plant and commissioning and all the installation takes long time. After that, of course, the product doesn't come up with the one trial or two trials. So, and on the same time, we are very much exposed to the local area, like the villagers area. So we have all these things make the manufacturing growth slower. And missions like National Manufacturing Mission, Atmanirbhar Bharat should give at least a big shout to the community that we have to increase it. It will surely help, in my opinion.
So I think while answering, you also mentioned some of the challenges that companies are facing. So could you please talk about few things that you expect from government to improve in India, whether it's in the form of policy or in form of some sort of new campaigns or anything. So what would be your advice to make the Indian manufacturing MSME sector specifically stronger because they basically form the backbone of the industry. So
Yeah. So if you ask me, this PLI scheme, PSI schemes, they are majorly for the larger mega projects more because PLI is more related to the electronics manufacturing. MSME, of course, I think the policy for the MSME need to be redrafted. We need to also see what kind of more incentives the MSME will get to enhance our economy. Because if you see the countries like Germany is dependent on the MSME sector which is like 90% of their whole economy. Of course, their MSME is categorized on the turnover basis, and I'm thankful to our Prime Minister Modi ji, who has now recently changed the policy, and now our MSME is also based on the turnover, not on the initial investment only.
Right, right,
So all these changes need to be done. If you ask me what I want to change as a one specific thing is the infrastructure to the industrial area, road connectivity, the communication, because we want to increase the women in the workforce as well. Today, we are
right,
located so far from the city. The road structure, the infrastructure, road infrastructure is so poor that we need like 1.5 hours to reach to our working place. And the women, they are actually specifically focusing on very limited time, working time, because they have to take care of the other things also, household things.
right,
So
right, right.
I would emphasize on the infrastructure improvement.
Right, right, right. So thanks for highlighting, the present state, the challenges and the policies related to the Indian manufacturing industry. Moving on, I would like to now, touch upon subject of aerospace and defense because that's one industry that's growing rapidly in India. Also, it's one of the biggest consumer of aluminum products, especially in the interior parts of all the, aircraft and all. So
Yeah.
according to you, how is India's aerospace industry is evolving in terms of material innovation and self-reliance? And how do you see the opportunities it is generating for companies like yours in coming days?
So you are talking only about the aerospace or defense as well?
You could talk about both aerospace and
Okay.
defense.
So I have much to talk about defense because that's where we have transformed our innovation into the practically product, the physical
Right,
product. Aerospace, we are talking with them. We are discussing and we have already onboarded on their projects.
right,
So defense, as I said, many countries like Russia has already announced aluminum as a defense metal because it is a lightweight. It has a weight to strength ratio is very good, and
right,
we need to operate the defense equipment in plus 40 degrees Celsius as well as minus 40 degrees Celsius. So aluminum is the best metal for such environment. Aluminum is non-corrosive as well. You can just keep the aluminum in environment for 50 years and it will not corrode and it will have a recycling value as well. Defense, a lot of new innovative products are coming. We are also getting good opportunities to work with them, especially with the Ordnance Factory, then CVRD, which is their wing for the research. As you know, the Combat Vehicle Research and Development Establishment. So we are working with the private players like L&T Defense also.
right,
We as Taural India, we have indigenized the engine block, which weighs around 160 kg and which goes into the Sarath tank. The Sarath tank, which brings our injured soldiers to the
right. To the
camps.
base. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's why it is called Sarath. We were dependent on Russia for last 34 years. We started working on this project during the COVID time, and with a speed of 8 months, we have developed this component from the scratch to the final product, doing all the R&D, design development, simulation, trials, and we are proud to say that we have received the National Defense Award at the hands of Honorable Defense Minister of India to do this work for defense area.
Congratulations on that. And I saw actually on the website that you got a medal from, as an award from Honorable Defense Minister Sri Rajnath Singh Ji. So, when you talk about defense and you spoke about the engine block, I'm sure in defense, drone also you must be having some good application of aluminum because that also needs to be in lightweight and strength.
So far, I didn't hear something from them, at least from the Indian defense organizations.
Okay.
But of course, we are in touch with few drone manufacturers in Europe for our European plants, and they are doing the research, which will surely
Right.
help us as a one of the joint venture company for the European people to replicate the same model in future.
And as we know that Indian government's key agenda at this moment is about the self-reliance or, Atmanirbhar, and
Mm.
more so in the defense industry. Because they have realized that if we have to safeguard our borders, it's not just the army. They also need correct technologies
Equipments.
that too
Yeah,
made in India.
true.
So, what kind of responsibilities now it gives to companies like yours, and what kind of opportunities you see coming in the future? Because earlier, most of these kind of parts were getting manufactured outside, as you also said that China, a lot of things were coming from China. So, it must be, I'm sure, a good opportunity for companies like yours to step up the whole game and serve the bigger agenda beyond just the business for in the defense industry.
Yes, because this is not only the ordnance factory or the DRDO is talking with us. There are also private companies like L&T Defense. I had a lot of discussions with the top officers of the defense manufacturing ordnance factory for the future projects like Arjun tank. They want to indigenize the Arjun tank, and we are discussing with them for the future innovation and for their transmission. They need a heavy casting. They are also talking with the companies, other companies like forging companies in India. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, has also approached us for their future projects like Shakti engine for the
Right.
helicopters. So a lot of new opportunities are there. Even about the defense infrastructure, we are talking with the government about the crash barriers in the hilly area made
Okay.
out of aluminum, which will not corrode and which will not rust and which will
Right.
stay there for decades. So good opportunities are there, and the missions like national manufacturing mission, defense manufacturing, these are the schemes which are helping uh, the local manufacturers, MSME. I know few of the MSMEs also, very small to medium size companies which are helping our defense organizations for their very strategic and key components in their whole assembly.
And there are also schemes like defense procurement policy, defense corridors, which we have seen so many in, I think, in Tamil Nadu, I think in Uttar Pradesh, and now also in coming in, I think, Assam and all. So I'm sure this must be also driving some manufacturing activities in India for the defense product.
There are defense manufacturing related schemes also where you can announce your company is manufacturing for defense, and then you can register yourself for few incentives which you can claim from the government.
Right.
That is one thing. Another thing, the defense corridor, they are now Maharashtra, for example, they want to announce the Shirdi or Nagpur as a defense corridor where the defense main player will come, and that main player will have the ecosystem, the small players around their area, which will surely bring the positive sentiment in the local manufacturing community to have their companies located in such hubs where they will be more protected and it will be more related to one segment.
Just a couple of questions from my side. As someone successfully doing business related to aluminum and its other processes, what would be your suggestions to a small, company who wants to venture into the aluminum processing industry?
I would say the future is very bright for aluminium. You start with the small processes, like if you are a young entrepreneur, try to work with some aluminium manufacturer for a couple of years. Try to capture the technological gap where, like as I said, the innovative process like vacuum casting is
Right.
still in the air. Young engineers, young entrepreneur can learn that either in our country, going abroad, and implement this into the serial production, which our company or myself, I did. I lived in Germany, I learned some technology, and as a Taural India, as a joint venture, I have brought products which were not made in India earlier, and which is giving us now big name. People are talking about it, national awards we are getting. So I suggest the young entrepreneur, young engineers to go into the deeper technology, try to find the technological gap, and actually leverage that technological gap into the forming organization.
As per your prediction, where do you see this aluminum industry in coming 5 to 10 years in India?
Today, if you ask me, the market cap is around 11 point something billion, and
Okay.
the prediction is at 19, which is the prediction is saying it will be doubled up, which I can see because the company like me was having nothing, no presence in 2016 and earlier. And today we have captured the market for the few hundred crores. So you can see, of course, this increase will happen, maybe not doubling up, but at least we should aim higher to achieve, if not 19, maybe we will achieve 18 billion, which will be also a very good value.
So you see a great future for the aluminum as a product, and companies working around the same material and the component in aluminum industry. And I think you are quite optimistic about the overall future of India as well, in defense industry, aerospace industry, and overall India manufacturing industry as well. So you have been around in and around the aluminum industry in your life. Like, how's your journey been?
See, I'm a graduate from College of Engineering Pune and as a metallurgist, and then I did my post graduation from Germany. And throughout my career, I was working with aluminum only, be it a die casting with BMW foundry in Germany, or Mahle, which is a piston manufacturing company.
Right, right.
And I was always involved into the research and development, process development department.
Okay.
So yes, throughout uh, career, I'm in aluminum, and I'm very optimistic for aluminum consumption increase in India. Let's take one example of your shuttering of the concrete, the infrastructure, the real estate industry. They are using now the shuttering made out of aluminum instead of wood. Two, three reasons: environment, sustainability, and then you get the long lasting shuttering, which will be used
Mhm.
for at least 10 times, 20 times, whereas the wood you can use one time and it will be like just broken.
Right, right, right. Right. In every home these days, we see the aluminum shutter. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's true. So you are like a aluminum die casting man. Is that the icon I can see behind you? Is die casting process going on?
Actually, this is something I have made out of my imagination. It is, I wanted to promote aluminum, and how to promote aluminum is, I thought, my own process of casting. So this is a aluminum man of India, what we call, or aluminum casting man of India. So I have given this small miniature to a lot of government people, the industry icons like Baba Kalyani, even Shri Narendra Modi has got it in Munich from me. And I always talked about why I have created this sculpture is for the increasing the aluminum consumption in India, which is like 10 times less than countries like China and Germany.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Bharat. It was nice talking to you. You have shared some keen, information related to aluminum and its usage, and I can see clearly that why this material will have a great time in coming days. As we see, lightweighting is the trend among, automotive industry as well. In aircraft, it was always there, but now if you talk to any automotive company, lightweighting is their biggest target, and I think aluminum has to play a great role there as well. So thank you so much for sharing all the information with us. And
Yes, thank you.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Nishan. Thank you, ET Manufacturing, having me here. And it was insightful discussion with you. Thank you.
Thanks.